Let me ask you a question, Cuffy. At any time during the initial stages of your indictment involving this whole Tammy Commons thing, did you talk to Big Meech or did you send a message to Big Meech in any way to tell him or to alert him of what was going on?
We sent Big Meech certified mail. Big Meech set me up, and Tammy set me up with the sting in 2013.
Big Meech just got put on full blast, and the receipts are in. After 50 Cent pulled out some paperwork hinting that Meech might have played the snitching game, the internet went wild. But hold up, where did 50 even get this so-called proof? Word is, he's got some old BMF associates in his corner, and they're spilling tea like they've got something to prove. People are whispering, "You ain't heard what's up with her?" But the real story? Big Meech isn't having any of it.
Well, did Blue Da Vinci cooperate or no?
Yeah, he cooperated. I mean, I didn't say it. It was in Miss Mara Shalhoub's book, where his own lawyer said, yeah, if there was anything else that we could do, Your Honor, to help you along with this case.
Rumors are swirling that Meech is about to give 50 Cent a front row lesson on how a real kingpin handles disrespect. And trust, this isn't just some petty back and forth. This is street legend status on the line. What makes it even messier? 50 Cent has a rep for spending top dollar to dig up dirt on people, and once he sinks his teeth in, he doesn't let go. But this time, he might want to ease up because Big Meech isn't just some regular dude from the block. We're talking about Demetrius Big Meech Flannery, the mastermind behind the Black Mafia family. His name rings bells from coast to coast. Let me break it down.
One night, and then my homeboy that was with me, he was like, Tone Bird, he from BMF too. Tone was like, ask Big Homie what's up with the movie with 50, like what's going on with him from New York. I had to use my New York accent. Yo, what's going on with the 50 Cent movie? So I'm like, oh yo, Meech, what's up with the movie, with the TV show?
Back in the 1980s, Meech and his little brother, Terry Southwest T. Flannery, jumped into the game heavy, pushing work in $50 bags. By the early 2000s, they had transformed their hustle into a national empire, moving weight through Michigan, Georgia, Florida, Cali, Louisiana, and way beyond. That kind of money flow made the feds sit up and pay attention. So Meech and Terry cooked up a slick cover, BMF Entertainment. On the surface, it looked like a legit promotion company, but behind the scenes, that's where the money-washing magic happened.
It's believed that Terry White grew up in an Atlanta housing project. But when FBI and GBI agents arrested him last night, he was living here, a sprawling $200,000 mansion in Jonesboro.
Had a media room where there were 24 TV sets on one wall hooked to a satellite dish. And you could hit a button and all 24 TVs would come on.
But here's the twist, BMF Entertainment wasn't all smoke and mirrors. They actually had one artist on the roster, Blue Da Vinci. In 2005, he even dropped an album called The World Is BMF's. But by October 2003, the feds came crashing down, snatching Meech up and trading his luxury lifestyle for a prison jumpsuit. And back then, most folks pointed fingers at Blue, calling him the snitch because, out of everyone, he looked the softest.
My client would be more than willing to cooperate with you all to help you in this investigation. But now the thing of it is by you admitting what was done, you know what I'm saying, what you done or whatever, but bottom line is, you know, you didn't take the single plea. You went in and.
Plus, let's not forget, Blue Da Vinci didn't even get picked up with the rest of the BMF crew when the feds made their move in 2003. When they grabbed Meech, they slapped cuffs on him and took him straight in. But Blue, somehow, he wasn't caught in that same net. And by the time 2004 rolled around, things got even messier when BMF's logistics boss, Dexter Sosa Hussey, started throwing major shade at Blue.
He's like, I just gotta wait to holler at Tammy before, you know what I'm saying, I know where we at with that. And Tammy is a government informant. So when he said that, I was like, Tammy? What you mean, Tammy? Like, nigga, you ain't heard what's going on with her?
Then came the bombshell. Sosa said, I just gotta wait to holler at Tammy before, you know what I'm saying? I know where we at with that. And Tammy, she was a government informant. So when he dropped that name, it was like, Tammy? What you mean, Tammy? The streets were buzzing, but it wasn't just talk. Sosa was referencing court records. Turns out, Blue showed up in court with his lawyer, and the lawyer straight up told the judge, "Your Honor, I did forget to mention something earlier. You asked about which defendants tried to cooperate, and Mr. McKnight, that's Blue, was one of the people who attempted to work with the government. They debriefed him, but it turned out he didn't really know anything useful about the other defendants."
Was giving them information on that they already had and thought it was cool, but you know, that was part of that. You just confirmed other shit that the other CIs just told.
He was giving him information that they already had and thought was cool, but that was part of it. Blue just confirmed what the other CI had already done. And get this, the lawyer admitted that Blue's debriefing wasn't even fresh tea, it went down months before that court appearance. Then, just to add another layer, the lawyer said Blue even did a safety valve session earlier that same week. What does that mean? Basically, Blue was ready to talk, but the problem was he didn't have anything valuable to offer. So, yes, Blue tried to snitch, but the feds didn't even want the crumbs he was serving up. That's when the real question popped off. If Blue didn't have the goods, who gave the feds their inside scoop? And this is where it gets wild. After getting his name dragged all through the mud as the snitch, Blue decided to clear his name once and for all. In 2023, during an interview with Capone News, he flipped the whole script and exposed the real person who gave up the goods, and that's when Tammy Cohen's name hit the spotlight. So, who's Tammy Cohen? She's been Meech's business partner since way back in 2008. After Meech got locked up, Tammy stayed solid, keeping in touch with him and running errands on his behalf while he was behind bars. For some reason, Meech thought she was so loyal that he actually gave her control over his life rights. That's right, he signed the paperwork, handing her the power to tell his story to the world. This meant Tammy had the golden ticket. She could flip Meech's life story into a money printing machine. And that's exactly what she did, linking up with 50 Cent to co-produce his hit 2021 show, BMF. But here's where things turned sideways. According to the paperwork Blue leaked, Tammy wasn't just out there securing TV deals, she was allegedly playing both sides, feeding information straight to the feds. In those same leaked documents, Tammy is listed as CS1, a confidential source who teamed up with the DEA's Atlanta division back in 2009. And guess what? She gave up information that helped crack open a money laundering case which led to the conviction of a dude named Terry White. This wasn't some small-time hustle either. Terry White was heavy in the game, and thanks to Tammy running her mouth, they got him locked up. Now, check this. When Tammy started talking, she wasn't even getting paid. But after her tip helped the DEA bag Terry White, they realized she might actually be useful down the line. So her handler, a DEA agent named Harsh, decided to put Tammy in for a reward, a cut of the value from the assets they seized from White's operation. And if you know anything about these kingpins, that property haul wasn't chump change, we're talking cars, cash, cribs, and more. But here's the crazy part. Tammy didn't even step into the informant life because she was broke or scared. The paperwork makes it clear she had no criminal record, wasn't caught up in the substance game, wasn't begging for a lighter sentence, and wasn't trying to dodge any charges. Basically, the feds themselves admitted she was one of the weirdest informants they'd ever dealt with. So why did she do it? Straight revenge. Word is, Terry White used Tammy to clean his dirty money without her even knowing, and once she found out, she flipped the whole script. She wasn't about to let anyone make her look like a pawn in their operation. This wasn't about money or freedom, it was personal, and Tammy was playing for payback. But here's the real head-scratcher. Why did Tammy keep spilling secrets after the feds already locked up Terry White? That's where things start connecting, but hold up, we'll get to that twist in a second. While all this was going down, Big Meech was cooking up his own play from behind bars, and trust me, this one was bold. Inside the pen, Meech crossed paths with a cartel player named Fidel Suarez. This dude wasn't just some corner hustler, he ran a whole trucking company out in California and had already caught the feds' attention more than once. They investigated and arrested him twice, first in 2005 and then again in 2009 for suspected substance trafficking, but both times, they couldn't make the charges stick. Meech had a wild plan to use Suarez's pipeline to keep product moving even though he was stuck behind bars. He figured if he could still move weight from his cell, he could keep the money flowing no matter how long his sentence was. But there was one problem. Meech was locked up tight, so he needed someone on the outside to make the plays. That's where Tammy slid right into the picture. According to the paperwork, in September 2011, Meech hit up Tammy, identified as CS1, and asked her to help coordinate the delivery of a load that would be handled by Suarez. At that point, Suarez and Tammy were already talking directly. The documents say Suarez first reached out to Tammy just to check in and ask how Meech was holding up. But that friendly call kicked off something way bigger. With Tammy now plugged in, Meech made her the middlewoman to connect Suarez with his longtime homie, Dion Cuffy Gatling, a heavyweight in the game himself. Cuffy wasn't small time either. Court records show he ran the whole Gatling trafficking organization, a crew responsible for flooding the streets of St. Louis with product from 2009 all the way to 2014. Together, Meech, Suarez, and Cuffy were lining up to move serious weight across state lines. The only thing they had was a snake in the garden, and her name was Tammy. She was secretly feeding everything back to the feds the whole time, and thanks to her reports, law enforcement had enough dirt to grab Cuffy on March 13, 2014. When it was all said and done, Cuffy got slapped with 27 years for drug trafficking and using weapons in a deal that led to someone losing their life. But here's the craziest part. Meech never caught a single charge for setting up the whole operation, and that's got everybody asking the same question: how did Meech dodge an indictment when his hands were all over the deal? It's crystal clear, the feds knew exactly what was going down. But here's the twist: Tammy straight up lied to protect Meech when they pressed her in court. Tammy covered for Meech all the way, with no hesitation. But after that stunt, the feds put a giant red flag on her name. They realized they couldn't trust her anymore. So now we've got to ask, is Meech really guilty, or is this just another 50-cent stunt to push his own agenda? Either way, the streets are watching, and this story is far from over. Let us know what you think in the comments. Is Meech really a snitch, or is 50 just stirring the pot? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss the next drop, and trust me, the next one is going to be even crazier. See you on the next one.